Okay, well, welcome to this inaugural PM office hours event. This meeting is being recorded. Can someone give me a shout out if you can, if the audio is working okay? Can you hear me all right? Nils, are you there? Am I coming through? According to Zoom, we're looking good. So I am going to go right ahead. So this is something new that Oracle Corporation is doing, where we're providing direct access to the PMs in a more informal kind of setting, something akin to office hours, as you may recall from university years, hence the name. So direct access to PMs in a more informal setting, opportunities to ask questions. So my name is Todd Bottger, and I bring you greetings from sunny California, Redwood Shores headquarters of Oracle. I did have a little bit of agenda today. I don't want to keep it too formal. I don't want it to get super formal. But I would like some input actually on the format, the timing. We're going to be doing this every month. The plan is to do this once a month. So I want to get the day and time right, so it works best for the most people. I want to get the format right. I'm eager to get your feedback on a couple of those things. And I do have a short presentation to share with you as well. But first, let's do a quick kind of personal introduction. So here's our page for these PM office hours events. We're on the first one, February 14th. A quick bio, a little bit more about me. I have been with Oracle between 11 and 15 years, depending how you count it. I worked for a couple of companies that were acquired by Oracle. So that I've had experience working elsewhere and worked for a couple of companies even before that as well. But I've been with Oracle for some time, off and on, for a total of over a decade. And I love working here. It's been a great experience. My focus at present is on Schema service, aka Oracle Database Cloud Service Multi-Tenant Edition. So sometimes we call it Schema service for short. It has a longer formal name. And also on Exadata Express Cloud Service, which is the long-term successor to Schema service. I'm also involved in a couple other related things, principally our always free database cloud service that is focused on app dev. You can find that at apex.oracle.com, and some related technologies. So that's a little bit about me, focused on Express, Schema, free, running Oracle database in the cloud. I worked for Oracle for a while and a couple other places before that, all focused on enterprise tech. And I'm delighted to be with you today. I think this is kind of a cool idea. I'm a big fan of the idea. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so quick agenda, nothing too formal. This is the first time we've done this, so a couple housekeeping items I wanted to cover off. Second, I would like to get your input on some things related to this series. Third, a short presentation, just a couple minutes. I'm not going to regale you with tons of slides. I have a couple slides that just provides an overview of Exadata Express in particular, and also ample time for question and answer. So that's perhaps the most important aspect of this, is your opportunity to ask questions. All right, some housekeeping things. First, these sorts of discussions probably will get into roadmap. And whenever we talk about roadmap, you've probably seen this at many other large companies. We have to show this safe harbor, right? It essentially says, if Todd gets real specific about specific dates and deliverables in the future, that don't take that as gospel. And I'm trained. I'm not supposed to go off the rails and make specific commitments to specific things on specific dates. I probably won't do that, but we're required to show the safe harbor statement in any case if we're going to get into roadmap kind of information. Obviously, I can't share proprietary information. This is a public forum. It will include Oracle employees, partners, live customers, perhaps some luminaries, some other people I've been thinking about and perhaps will invite to join. And in that sort of form, I can't share proprietary information. Perhaps this goes without saying, but if you ask me what's the revenue projection for XYZ for next quarter, I'll probably take a pass on that sort of thing. There's certain things I can't share. But other than that, I'll try and be as open and honest as possible and, give you the straight information straight from the PM, the tech PM, working in the dev team. Employees who are joining, obviously we'll have customers on the line, be sensitive to that. Common courtesies apply. You probably will stump me at some point during this series of office hours, and that's good. I hope you do. Please stump me. There may be things that I just don't know the answer to, and I have to go look up and circle back on that. I've got a little Microsoft Word document open. I'm going to take notes, and anytime I'm stumped, I'll make note of it, and I will make an effort to get back with you. The parking lot. There may be questions that are just better suited for other office hours or other PMs, and I'm going to put them in a parking lot, but I'll note who I think is the best person for that and what is the right forum for that if there is another office hours scheduled. So there probably will be a couple things that go in the parking lot. Ending early, I don't know about you, I have no compunction whatsoever about ending early. I personally love that. I love it when the presenter says exactly what they need to say, nothing more, nothing less, and then gives me 10 minutes back or 15 minutes back. So we may do that. Happy to do that. Live polls. In addition to asking your questions, this also is an opportunity for me to ask you questions and get feedback directly from customers, from Oracle folks out in the field, from others. So I probably will do some live polls, and I've got a couple today. And this is really important for helping us as PMs prioritize. There's this whole world of things we could do and things we would like to do, but as you might expect, there is not infinite or unlimited resources or infinite time. We have to prioritize things. This is a great opportunity for you to help us prioritize. So anything along those lines where you're seeing something that's particularly important, recurring themes, things that are just coming up over and over again or escalating, very open to feedback on those kinds of topics. All right, so now let's start off with a live poll. And let's see how many people we've got. 3 or 4. There was 4, now it's 3. We're back to 4. We got 3 or 4 folks. So not a huge sample size here, but let's do a couple polls. Let's see how it goes. Apparently Zoom has the ability to do polls. It had me pre-create a couple. So I am going to try that out. So polling. Launch polling. Okay. First question. How long should these sessions be? 30 minutes, 30 to 60 minutes, more than an hour? Any feedback on that topic? Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Next question. What is the best day during the week? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Is it better to do something like this earlier in the week? Everyone's fresh, everyone's back online. Or later in the week, people maybe have a little more free time on a Friday. Okay, it looks like kind of midweek is best. Thank you very much. And let's go to question number 3. What's the best week of the month? Do we want to kind of do this toward the beginning of the month, mid-month, later in the month? Any feelings on that? Oh, here we go. Mid-month, okay. Looks like mid-month is the answer there. Okay, and last one on timing. What time of day is best? Or that's code for where in the world are you joining from? Oracle is a very global company. We have customers all over the world. So where are you joining from, and hence what time of day would be best? We're doing this kind of midday North America, which means early morning in Japan, in the evening in Europe. That generally tends to be the best, but open to other alternatives. So it looks like North America and EMEA. Okay, based on that, we'll probably stick with the current schedule. And I'm getting a comment in the chat. More detailed, Niels from Germany. Welcome, Niels. Okay, now a question about session format. What, in your opinion, what would be the best kind of structure for this sort of office hour session? Structured PM, prezo and demo, guest speakers and discussion. I could bring in other PMs, VPs, partners, customers. Unstructured Q&A time, interaction with others on the call, discussion amongst yourselves. Alok, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if it's of interest, we could get partners who are running on top of Exadata Express, and they can share how they're running as an ISV app, or what they have done in terms of migrating customers over.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That would be very welcome. Alok is an Oracle employee and interacts with many partners. And he has the benefit of actually someone on his team has already done one of these office hours just recently, so has some experience with this. All right, I'm going to end that question. Next question, possible topics. What are some topics of interest? This is me brainstorming, totally off the cuff, off the top of my head. I was blasting these into the poll pretty quickly, but are there specific topics that you think would be more or less interesting to drill down on? I'll let you pick your favorite topic. See if that surprising number of questions just about pricing and packaging, based on universal credits and some of the new things Oracle is doing, but lots of other questions about customer use cases, examples, roadmap. What exactly are we running under the hood? We get questions really all over the map. So it looks like what's new, pricing and packaging is useful. Okay, good. I'm going to close that one off. And possible comparisons. This is another thing that I get a lot. Well, tell me about what you do and how it stacks up with other database cloud services available from Oracle, other services available from competitors. How do the two services in my domain compare? Like a more detailed drill down on the differences between just Schema Service and Exadata Express. Happy to do any and all of the above. Okay, looks like we're about evenly split on that one. Some competitor, some comparing to other Oracle, and some kind of internal comparisons. All right, and that one. And then last question. This is my last polling question for the day. Both of these services are great hosts for doing application development. Not only as dev and test environments, but hosting and running production apps, in particular Apex apps, but other things too. We've certainly had some interest around Node.js and REST recently. This is Oracle database and SQL, PL SQL questions for sure. Any of these things sound interesting? It's like REST, SQL, PL SQL, Python. Okay, good to know. All right, so I'm going to close that one off. That will be our last polling question for the day. I'll go back and take a look at that. That was helpful. I may do some of these questions again in a future session, just given that this is our very first session ever. We've only got 3 or 4 people, so, but that's useful. I appreciate it. Thank you. And that one. and see how I close this. Polling is closed. Okay, we're back. So now I'm going to transition into the short PM presentation part of this, where again a couple slides. I'm not gonna do death by PowerPoint. I'm happy to do that if we want to do that. You know, there's something you really want to drill down on in great detail in a future session. I'm happy to do that. But I was thinking for this one, I'd just do a quick overview of Exadata Express. So this was launched in late 2016. So it's been around for going on a year and a half, I guess. Is that right? Yeah, 2017, 2018. It's been around, you know, long enough to get some mind share, but it's not exactly one of our oldest services. As I mentioned, it is positioned as, and this was launched by Larry Ellison on the big stage at Open World. See some slides about it. This is recorded and visible on YouTube and so forth. It is, it's positioned as the long-term successor to Schema Service. So Schema Service, AKA Oracle Database Cloud Service Multi-Tenant Edition, that has been around for a while. That was Oracle's original Database Cloud Service. That was what we started with years ago now. And it became evident that Schema Service was in need of a refresh. So Exadata Express, Schema Service is still there. It still works. We do not have plans to, you know, deprecate it anytime soon, but we have provided something that we think will make a great long-term successor. And that's perhaps the first point about Exadata Express. A couple other important characteristics. It's really positioned for the entry level, and that's reflected in the pricing and the shapes. You can get starting with 1 core up to 4 cores. You can start with 20 gigs of storage and go up to 1 terabyte of storage, but it caps out, you know, at those levels. If you want, you know, many cores. Oh, and I should say the top shape has 40 gigs of RAM as well. So if you want many cores, you know, tens or teens or 20s of cores, you want a lot more storage, you want, you know, a lot more RAM. There are alternatives from Oracle that are able to deliver that, but this particular one's more positioned for the entry level and caps out here. Now, there are some tips and tricks I can share along these lines. Like, for example, Exadata Express includes advanced compression option at no additional cost. And with advanced compression option, we typically get, you know, 3 to 5x compression ratio for OLTP workloads. It also includes Exadata hybrid columnar compression. We run on Exadata, and that gets, you know, 10x or greater compression ratios, all at no extra cost. So yes, it caps out at 1 terabyte of storage, but there are ways to fit vastly more amounts of data into an Exadata Express shape. All that said, our higher level shapes, Exadata Cloud Service, full instance VM or database cloud service, we have some great offerings there as well. So there certainly are places to go from here if you want to go up. This runs on Oracle Database 12c Release 2, it's Enterprise Edition, plus a whole bunch of options thrown in. It includes pre-configured application express. We're running 5.1 right now. It's actually Apex 5.1.3 at the moment, and we try to keep it very current. It's running ORDS 3. We have a nice service console UI tying it all together. This is another very important aspect of this. This is a fully managed service. So it really was, you could say, our initial autonomous service. We have much more coming along those lines, but this was where we were kind of testing the waters. You know, we put something out that's completely managed for you. We take care of the patching, the upgrade, the HA configuration, the RMAN backups, the security lockdown, the firewall rules. You know, it's a very packaged offering that allows you to just focus on the database and the app dev functionality on top of the database. So stand up your data management and start making your apps right away. That was the objective anyway, is to take some of the more routine kind of DBA tasks out of the picture. Deliver something that's very easy to uptake, fully managed, very attractive to a developer kind of audience. So it's packed with features. We really piled it in there. There's a partial list here. It does, unlike Schema service, which is REST access and Apex access, Exadata Express supports SQLnet. So the whole broad ecosystem of Oracle database clients running on SQLnet, from Oracle, from partners, BI partners, tools, utilities, language drivers, the traditional things that connect to Oracle database, those are supported with Exadata Express. Whereas in Schema service, it was basically REST and Apex only. The highest shape gives you IMC. A lot of interest in in-memory column store lately. It's a great for large-scale analytics, lightning fast, and we do have a shape on the upper end that includes that. It's available in North America and Europe data centers, and shapes start as low as US 175 per month. So very affordable pricing on the high end, on the low and the high end. And then we pack on even more on the high end with things like IMC. So that's like a one-slide quick overview of Exadata Express. This shows you where it fits into the overarching Oracle Database Cloud portfolio. We have full instance running on VM in the middle there. This gives you an Oracle database. It gives you a VM. You have host access. You can SSH into it. You can, it's essentially an on-prem database except running in the cloud. And it has some packaging around it, some tools around it that make patching and upgrading, and it makes some things a little easier. But it essentially gives you the whole Oracle database the same way you would run it on an on-premise type of machine. It's suitable for all kinds of use cases, and it is available in our cloud machine too. We have customer cloud machine where you can essentially take our cloud and run it as a machine behind your firewall. So it's available there. And then on the highest end, our highest end category of database cloud services, Exadata Cloud Service, not to be confused with Exadata Express Cloud Service, which you can do anything on. It's suitable for any kind of workload. It's an engineered system. It's highly optimized for database work. And you can also get this. You can get the cloud version of this as a packaged machine that you can run behind your firewall too, or you can buy it running in our data center in our cloud. So different options there. And then on the left, you see where Exadata Express, which we're talking about today, kind of where that fits in. Great for database development, departmental, LOB type applications, SMB customers. It's a great kind of entry-level service to start with, a great on-ramp to Oracle Database Cloud. And I guess the subtext there is the caps that we have on it on the upper end, they're deliberate, right? It's positioned for certain kind of use cases. And as you go up to enterprise apps, highest availability, scalability, performance, you would move to one of the higher order services, which do more, but are also a little more expensive. So that's a quick look at the whole portfolio and kind of where Express fits in. We have been hard at work since it was launched with enhancements, extensions. There's a couple of things we've done recently. We support Oracle Cloud credits, so you can buy this with credits. We support free trials. You sign up for $300 worth of promotional credits, and then you can use those on Exadata Express. We added the larger shapes up to the 4 cores, 40 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage. We added a nice capability to take your own backups and integrated this into the UI, in the Service Console UI. So it's literally button clicks, click, 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 and you can take your own backup and send it out to Oracle Storage Cloud Service. So your backup resides in the cloud, in the storage cloud. And we use Data Pump, but kind of behind the scenes. We're using Data Pump export and import. But it's a great way to kind of take your own backups, do your own restores. We improved the data loading with support for SQL Loader direct path. It was originally just conventional path, but we've added direct path. So, decent data loading times. I was talking to a customer just recently who was loading, I think he said about 20 gigs of data over the internet into Exadata Express just from his home office, which had a cable internet connection. He didn't say who, but he said it was kind of a run-of-the-mill internet connection. And he loaded 20 gigs over the public internet into Oracle Cloud, and it took between 3 and 4 hours. He let it go overnight, and then he checked afterwards. Looks like it took 20 gigs over the internet in 3 or 4 hours using SQL Loader Direct Path Load. So pretty good. That's pretty good performance characteristics. Not a bad solution. Now, if you're talking about loading multiple terabytes or multiple petabytes, then there are other things we can talk to you about. There certainly are products and offerings optimized for those kind of scenarios. You're talking about the types of data that Exadata Express is designed for. SQL Loader Direct Path is a pretty good solution. So we added some additional PL SQL packages. So you can do, we added DBMS crypto, so you can do your own crypto. It includes TDE by default, by the way. Everything is encrypted at rest using TDE, but we had customers who wanted to roll their own crypto on top of that. So we had a DBMS crypto support for not one, but multiple Apex workspaces. We've integrated it with Developer Cloud Service. It makes for a very nice lifecycle management solution where if you've got multiple instances of Exadata Express, you can automatically uptake changes from dev, push them to test, push them to QA, push them to staging, push them to prod, all in one automated flow running out of Developer Cloud Service. So you get a free Developer Cloud Service along with Exadata Express that allows you to do that sort of thing. So very cool. That would be something fun to demo too, if that's of interest. We've done a number of upgrades to Apex. We try and keep it very current. Assisted migration from Schema service. So a nice way, if you're a Schema service customer, a nice way to bring your data out and then move it into Exadata Express. And we've added a number of other videos to our welcome tour. Most recently, a nice video about connecting to Exadata Express from Node.js. So I see another comment here. Niels, does it mean that you have full configuration access to Apex and ORDS? No. So it comes pre-packaged with our own WebLogic cluster running ORDS, and then we take care of the ORDS patching and upgrades to that cluster. The trade-off for that is, if you want to fundamentally change the installation or the configuration of that ORDS instance, you're not able to do that. We do have the ability to do that in the next category up, in some of the other services available from Oracle. Similar story for Apex. We patch, we upgrade, we do the configuration. You get Apex workspace, actually multiple Apex workspaces. It's very similar to what you're familiar with, but if you wanted to fundamentally change the architecture or the way Apex is installed and configured, like change from running on OHS to running in PL SQL Gateway or some such thing, no. That's the sort of thing that we take on ourselves in a fully managed service like Exadata Express. So, Niels, does that answer your question? Speak up. feel free to talk. I see your chat messages coming in. Okay, we've also added a bunch more welcome tour videos. I'm going to show you that in a second. So we've got a nice little YouTube playlist video series that walks you through common things you want to do on Exadata Express. The goal is to really make it as easy as humanly possible to use this, to get up to speed with it quickly, and get productive as an app developer immediately. And this welcome tour series really helps with that, I think. So we added one from about Node.js. Another question coming through. Oh, okay, Niels. Niels says he has no microphone on his computer. Okay. All right, so there's some of the things we've been doing recently. That's pretty much it as far as slides are concerned. If you remember nothing else from that short whirlwind tour, these are the two things to remember. The welcome tour videos, you can literally click play and you get, full end-to-end demo, live recorded demo of Exadata Express, and get it, you get a broad exposure to different characteristics of the service all in like 25 minutes or less. And each one is divided up into a short 5-minute segment. So let me just show that really quickly.
Welcome to Oracle Database Exadata Express Cloud Service. Exadata Express provides Oracle Database 12c, Release 2 Enterprise Edition.
Pause that. Okay. So this is a quick look at the welcome tour. An overview, setting the password, enabling client access, setting up a client, creating a schema, loading data, migrating from schema service, exporting and importing, or AKA backup and restoring to Oracle Storage Cloud. A little bit about building Apex apps, quick example, demo. Connecting from a Java environment and building a Java app. This particular one, it's using the Java Thin driver, and we're connecting from NetBeans, if I recall correctly. But you know, similar concept with similar concepts for any sort of Java connection. Connecting from Node.js, this uses the brand new Node Oracle DB driver. So we just released quite recently version 2.0, a major upgrade of the Node driver for Oracle. And this is a video hot off the press that shows you how to connect using the new driver. And then this shows you a little bit about how to, if you have multiple instances, how you can push things from dev to test to QA to stage to prod, all using this free bundled developer cloud service that comes with your Exadata Express. So some cool videos there we continue to add to this playlist. If you remember nothing else, I'd go take a look at the playlist, run through it. In like 25 minutes, you're an expert, or close to it. Also, free credits, whether you're a customer, a prospective customer, an Oracle employee, you know, someone in the Oracle field, this is something you should know about. Oracle has this free trial program. You get $300 for free, and you can spend it how you will. Exadata Express participates in that. So it's a great way to do a no-cost trial of this service. And with that, that's pretty much it for my structured presentation. So let's, how many people do we still have online? So we got 3 people, okay. We had 22 people registered just as of this morning. So it looks like we lost a few. I'll have to figure that out. For those of you who are online, I would love to take some questions. Feel free to jump in. I'm gonna drop open the Zoom here. So we got Niels Samard, and it looks like Alok has dropped off. Okay, so what do you think? How was that? Any questions? Anything leap to mind? All right, looks like we got one. Niels, what's the difference between non-metered and universal credit services? And in the latter, the difference between pay-as-you-go and monthly flex. Okay, great question. So, you know, when Oracle jumped into the cloud a couple years back, it was, for the most part, it was with these non-metered services where you just pay for a month of service. And you know, everything's billed monthly, regardless of how much you use hour by hour. It's like more like a monthly subscription. We call it non-metered. And you may have bought that monthly subscription for a year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, and may or may not have gotten a discount on, depending on how long it was from your Oracle rep. That's, you know, essentially how it was back in the old days. After that, we launched metered services where you can buy things by the hour and just kind of pay as you go. And most recently, and this was just last fall, we've launched this universal credit program where the way I think about it, this me personally, it's kind of like gift cards. You're buying Oracle gift cards, and then you can spend those credits on, you know, whatever PaaS, IaaS service you want to spend it on, whether it's Exadata Express or Exadata Cloud Service, or, you know, DBCS, or some, you know, storage cloud service, some other thing. it empowers you, the customer. You know, you get a lot more flexibility. Customers don't always know exactly how much Exadata Express they want to consume, you know, months in advance, or storage cloud service they want to consume months in advance, or this or that. I mean, I think it's unfair to expect customers to have planned at that level of detail long in advance every single time. So with credits, you're essentially just buying credits that are durable and flexible and that last, and that you can spend on whatever you want. And Exadata Express participates in that program. Now, when you actually use the credits to consume a service, the credits are burned down at a rate prescribed by the service, right? Some services are less expensive than others. Other services are more expensive than others. Some services, you know, scale and discount in a certain way. Other services, you know, other ways. And this is not unique to Oracle. You know, pretty much every cloud works that way. You know, not everything is priced exactly the same across every service. So once you have the credits, you go look at the rate card for that service, and you can kind of see how you will be billed for each hour that you've spent on that service. And by the way, this is hourly. If you want to do the monthly computation, you take that hourly price that is published and multiply it by 744, number of hours in a month, in a 31-day month, if I recall correctly. So we publish these hourly rates. We publish the rate cards. You burn down the credits based on the hours you use. And pay-as-you-go versus monthly flex. So there's actually, on the rate cards, there's actually two columns. There's something called pay-as-you-go, which is the base price. It's, you know, arm's length transactions. I want a couple hours here, I want a couple hours there. No commitment. You know, you don't have to have any kind of relationship with Oracle. You know, just buy a few hours, pay-as-you-go. And that's the base price. And then there's another column published, which is monthly flex, where if you do have some kind of relationship with Oracle and you're spending some amount of money on Oracle Cloud generally, as is often the case, then you get a discount. So, and I believe, if I recall correctly, I believe the threshold is $1,000 a month. If you spend $1,000 a month on anything Oracle PaaS, IaaS, then you immediately are in the second column of the rate card. You're in the monthly flex, which is typically a lower price. And then the way that works is as you spend the credits and consume your hours, you know, at the end of the month, Oracle does our accounting, and, you know, we figure out what was spent, what wasn't spent, you know, what on the different services, how much, you know, how much revenue Oracle's making, and, you know, how much we allocate to each particular service. So it does, I guess there's some benefits to Oracle in a sense that it simplifies our accounting a little bit. But I think probably the big benefits are just durability and flexibility for customers who don't necessarily know exactly what services they're going to need and for what duration in advance. Nils, does that answer your question? Hopefully that was enough level of detail. I should mention too, on top of the monthly flex, if you are interacting with an Oracle salesperson, I believe there are additional discounts that the Oracle salesperson is at liberty to provide, depending on monthly spend and duration of contract. And, you know, you can get on top of that flex discount, where if you're spending anything, you know, you get some modest discount. I think on top of that, you can get additional discounts. And that's the sort of thing, you know, you go talk to your Oracle rep about that. Okay, next question. What will happen if data transfer maximum is reached, e.g. the 120 gig per month for Exadata Express X20? Okay, that's a great question. So in our rate card, along with the prices, you also publish some specs. You know, what do you get for each of the shapes? So you see the rate, and then you see the different shapes, and, you know, the rate for each shape and what you get for each shape. In Exadata Express X20, you get 20 gigs. You can consume up to 1 core of Exadata. You get a certain amount of RAM. You get a certain amount of bandwidth. That's another thing that's unique about Exadata Express is the all-inclusive pricing. With Express, in the interest of making it as simple as possible, we just throw it all together. Like we don't charge you separately for bandwidth and separately for storage and separately for the CPU and RAM. It's all, and it also includes support, by the way. It includes Oracle support account number and MOS access and 24/7 access to Oracle support, all in one price. So on that rate card, you will see a column about bandwidth, and for X20, it's 120 gigs per month. That's ingress and egress, and this is kind of our target. Now, all that said, I will tell you our enforcement of that cap is not super duper strict. Like if you're getting to 120 gigs in a month and you're just about done and you cross the threshold to 120.1 gigs, are we immediately going to cut you off? Of course not. That would absolutely make no sense, right? So our enforcement of that it's not strictly automatic and it's not super strict. We do monitor that by informal means. And as you might expect, we have to have some caps, some things that are published to insulate customers from potential, abusers. We have to have some kind of caps. But we monitor it using some informal means that I can't go into too much detail on. And we're not going to cut you off if you go from 120 to 120.01 or some such thing. That's about what you get. If you go way over that, then you might get contacted and there might be some jeopardy of something happening. But if you're within that range, in general, you'll be fine. So that's a little bit about the bandwidth component of the shape. And it includes ingress and egress. Did I mention that? Okay, Nils, does that answer your question? That's a great question, actually. We do get quite a few questions just about pricing and shapes and specs, and I can understand that. The cloud can be a little bit of a bewildering place, especially if you're looking at the AWS world and you're trying to rationalize what you've seen in AWS with Oracle's simpler model, or you're trying to rationalize with other vendors out there. It can be a little bit daunting, but we try and make it as simple and easy as possible. Many of our customers are in direct contact with reps who can give you all the details, typically at a moment's notice. They're quite eager to do that. But we try and make it as plain as possible just with the information we publish on the site too. If you have any questions about this, let me go to another link. Shut down the chat. cloud.oracle.com/database. And this is everything Oracle database in Oracle Cloud. The different services that are available, the features, the pricing, the different categories. If you have questions about the pricing, click on this tab. And you can see Exadata Express and Schema service. These are the two that are in my patch. We'll click on Exadata Express. And this is let me close this window. This is your definitive look at the different shapes, the specs, and the two columns with the prices. The pay-as-you-go for anyone who wants a couple hours here and there. This is the discounted monthly flex. If you're spending even a modest amount in Oracle Cloud, I believe the threshold is currently $1,000. If you're an enterprise, you're spending $1,000 a month on anything Oracle Cloud, you'll get this price on the rate card, this column right here. The part number, useful for actually placing orders, processor, storage, memory, data transfer. This is the original non-metered that we talked about, flat monthly subscription price for an X20. But I don't know, we tried to lay it out as simply as possible in a little tabular format. Maybe there's opportunities to refine that a little bit, make it a little better. If you have any input in that regard, let me know. Okay, other questions? If not, we can end early. Let me just go back to the chat. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions over chat. The audio line is quiet. Oh, I see a question over chat. I did that. Okay, so that price seems even cheap for private persons to use with universal credits. 36 euros. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely. Exadata Express, I think, it's not just an enterprise product. You know, it's absolutely suitable even for SOHO, you know, small office, home office, individuals, nonprofits, NGOs, you know, local governments, you know, I think a whole range. Given that price point, it really does open it up to a whole range of customers, even some shall we say, non-traditional Oracle customers. You could, as a private person, grab one of these at a very reasonable price and, you know, stand up your own Apex apps very quickly, running in the cloud. No machinery, no capital investment. Run it in the cloud on Exadata Express and very quickly stand up some Apex apps. So yeah, good question. I think you're right to point out the price point is even reasonable for private persons. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this edition of PM Office Hours if there are no other questions. Not a bad start for our very first one ever. We'll do this again. Feel free to come back and join next time. Invite others who you think may be interested, and we'll see you again in a month. Thank you.